All right. Just don't make a scene. Go talk. Order. Charter Township of Plymouth Board of Trustees, regular meeting, Tuesday, April 21, 2026, 6:30 PM. Roll call.
Roll call, Jim Buckley,
Here.
trustee Clinton,
Right here.
supervisor Kermy,
Here.
treasurer Doris Shepherd,
Here.
trustee Grow,
So nice to see our deputy clerk stepping up here.
trustee Stewart,
Here.
and Jerry Borba is absent.
All right, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item, we're going to have a recognition of Arbor Day, which is also a requirement to be a tree city, so I'll just read the Arbor Day. Foundation is celebrating its 50th anniversary of the Tree City USA program. This is a Plymouth Township's 5th year receiving recognition as a tree city community. This well-deserved recognition is a testament to our community's unwavering commitment to the planting, care, and celebration of trees. Plymouth Township has provided over 700 trees in the last few years. And we, if you look at a map from 1950, we had almost no trees in Plymouth Township. Now we have many. Well, that's one reason that you have maybe less reliable electricity.
Blame
So-
the trees.
Blame the trees, yep. So, approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion for that?
I move to approve the agenda
Second.
as submitted.
We have a second, it's Mark Clinton. I want to, before we move to the first item, which is a closed session, introduce you to John Clark, who is our interim general counsel. Kevin Bennett has taken a medical, and in order to continue the operations of the township, we have to have counsel, and he is filling that role until we develop a request for proposal and seek law firms to be our official general counsel. It'll be opened up using BidNet and the network of the legal profession. So the first item will be a closed session. So we're going to have somebody move this, and then we'll have a second, and then we would go into closed session, and then we will return, and then we will do the consent agenda and proceed with the rest of the agenda, including comments and all the other usual things.
Mr. Supervisor, I move that the Board of Trustees convene in a closed session pursuant to Michigan Open Meetings Act, MCL 15.268, subsection H, to discuss a memorandum that is exempt from disclosure as attorney-client privileged.
Second.
All right, roll call vote.
Right. Supervisor Kermy,
Yes.
trustee Doris, treasurer Doris Shepherd,
Yes.
Jerry Borba is absent, trustee Buckley,
Yes.
trustee Clinton,
Yes.
trustee Grow,
Yes,
trustee Stewart.
Yes.
All right. Passed unanimously.
All right. Closed session.
Supervisor.
7:02, return to closed session, or open session, excuse me.
I move to return to open session.
Second.
So roll call on,
Supervisor Kermy?
yes.
Treasurer Dorchevitz?
Yes.
Jerry Borva is absent. Trustee Buckley?
Yes.
Trustee Clinton?
Yes.
Trustee Grow?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
All right, back in open session.
Item E, which is approval of the consent agenda, which has 2 items or 3 items that we have a storm agreement that we'll have to have a resolution on, and then the communications. So any questions on the consent agenda? No? All right. So because there's a resolution for the storm drain agreement, we'll need to take a roll call vote. I think that is all we need to do to ensure that it's correct.
May I just make
Yeah.
one quick comment? Chief Conlon, I just want to applaud you and thank you for the clarification on the Clemens reports that specify the rescue and EMS runs, and I appreciate all the work that went into that.
Okay, ready for the roll call? Oh, we need a motion. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Somebody needs
Mr.
to,
Supervisor, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
second by Dorchevitz.
Okay, all right. Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee,
And by the way, it was my privilege to spend 2 hours inside Township Hall yesterday morning, going over 2 months' worth of bills, because we haven't had a meeting in a month. And then I briefly spoke with Carol Rashan and left the building without anybody caught.
Okay.
Excuse me.
all right. Trustee Grow?
Yes.
Trustee Clinton?
Yes.
Trustee Buckley?
Yes.
Jerry Borva is absent. Treasurer Dorchevitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Kermy?
Yes.
Okay, consent agenda is passed.
All right. Now, we're going to move to public comment, but on non-agenda items. So you will also be able to speak on the agenda item, and I'm sure most people want to speak about 3 and 4. But we can take comments now from anybody that has, yeah, come on up. Yeah, you come up there and speak into the microphone. Just tell us who you are, and be clear, concise, and truthful.
No ad hominem.
Nobody knows what that Latin term word means, so. We just call that civil.
All right, good evening. My name is Jeff Dalloway. I live on Beacon Hill Court. I'm here to speak about the pit bull attack, the Cane Corso pit bull attack that took place about 3 weeks ago. It's about 3 blocks from my house. I understand that the man that was attacked, the jogger at 6:30 in the morning on a Saturday, has recently lost his arm. And so, yeah, it's a gasp, right? So I've got
Are you
kids that...
sure that that's true?
That's what I've heard through the
Well,
grapevine.
that
But
may be-
he's in intensive
anyway,
care.
it may be a rumor.
Okay, so here's what I'd like to ask the board. I would like a ban on pit bulls and other vicious dogs. There's been 464 people killed in America over the last 5 years by dog attacks. About 78% of those are related to pit bulls. There's over 1 million attacks a year from pit bulls. The funny part is, the dog owners would say, well, these are nice dogs. But 48% of those are unprovoked, and 53% of the attacks happen against family members. Pit bulls have about 1/3 of the people attacked have surgery, which is about 5 times higher than any other breed of a dog attack that gets, if somebody that's attacked by a different breed. So it's 5 times higher if you get attacked by the pit bull, that you're likely to have a serious injury, surgery, etc. There's 11 cities in Michigan that currently ban pit bulls. There's another 19 that have high restrictions on vicious dogs. So I don't know what it takes to get a ban in place, but I would like to know what it is. If we have to go out and get signatures, 1,000 signatures, whatever it is, I would like to know, because I've got kids that, I walk the neighborhood, I walk by this house every day, I didn't know that they had pit bulls. We don't have fences in Plymouth. This house did, but somehow they still got out. So I don't know what it takes, but I've got a daughter that rides her bike through the neighborhood all the time. I walk every day through that neighborhood, and I don't know where pit bulls are. If you're a pedophile, you have to register, and people have to know that you're a pedophile where you live. But I don't know what type of thing we have for, hey, if I have a vicious dog at my house, how do I know? So I feel right now it's, when we just go about our day, and if I have to go for a walk, do we take a weapon? So that's unrealistic, it's not reasonable, I get that. But my point is, these dogs are vicious, they kill, they have done it in the past, there's a history of this, and we don't need them in a residential neighborhood. I'm not against dogs, but I'm against these dogs. So I'd like to know, what does it take to get a ban on pit bulls? And we could start there, but there's probably another 2 or 3 breeds. Rottweilers, the Cane Corso, those are, what I was told was those are drug dealer dogs. And so it fits because that house,
Right, so-
I always smell dope coming out of the house when I walk by it.
So I'll answer your question about what it takes, is the township board would have to vote to create an ordinance to ban. There is a strong resistance to do that, because I think you pointed out, where do you stop banning what
That's
breed?
fine, we can figure that out.
And then how do you enforce it?
Well,
We don't have,
We got a
now,
guy
that's
here.
not the job of policemen to be enforcing that kind of an ordinance.
but how hard was it to catch? Well, hold on. Those dogs were, the one dog, the one out of the 3 was out and about for 3 days. So I was calling his office every day. Did you catch him? What's the location? It was Saturday morning, 6:30 till Tuesday midday. So I felt like I was in lockdown and I couldn't go out. Because they went from Haggerty, from my house around between Sheldon and Beck, they went down to Haggerty, they went downtown, and I think they were caught, I'm not sure where they
So
were caught.
we
but
will
they were all over the
contemplate
place.
it. We contemplated it 20 years ago, and at that time, the direction from council and the consensus was it was too difficult to enforce. Also, what do you do about the people that have the dogs already?
Take them away.
No, you're
Why?
not going to be
So
able.
what?
You're not going to be
So
able to
what?
do that.
Go
But
ask the
anyway,
guy, go
I
ask the
hear
guy
you.
that got attacked. And
I
ask
hear
him how
you.
he would feel. He'd say, take him away.
Yeah, but you don't ban cars because people get in crashes. So you got to kind of, so you don't ban dogs because they bite people either, right?
Yeah, you do. These dogs kill.
All right,
These
well,
dogs kill.
Okay, so
That's what
we have a question here from the,
No, I would like to add relevance to your comment. And Chief, doing the bills yesterday morning, I came across, and I was hoping the media would cover it. Some did, but I came across hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars of bills to the taxpayers of Plymouth Township to desanitize the blood that was all over the car, the vehicle, and the police officer who apprehended the 3rd dog. I want to thank, as someone who went through a dog bite as a youth in middle school, I just want to thank whoever apprehended that 3rd dog. And we paid hundreds of dollars, if not over $1,000. Chief, would you like to edify?
Well, I'll tell you, John, that we are tracking every expense was related to this incident. So as the case progresses, I said we are tracking every expense related to this incident. As this case progresses, certainly we would look for restitution.
Restitution. Yeah, I was surprised. But we paid the bills up front
correct.
because it was necessary.
Absolutely.
Who was the officer?
There
You
was,
want to give credit
it was a
to-
team,
It's a team, it was multiple
The
officers.
team.
Yeah.
and multiple
Including the
departments.
city of Plymouth, yes.
Okay.
All right, we heard you, and we are contemplating, but we're not committing to any action to make an ordinance at this time.
Thank you for coming to address us.
So we're glad you
Thank
came.
you.
Good evening, members of the board. Howard Hamrick here, 10306 Normandy Drive. This comment is directed to our treasurer. I'm hearing and I've received a number of concerns and complaints for people who are receiving a bill, that's $75 assessment for the sidewalk survey. Now, I was at the board meeting. I am not in any way chastising anyone here. We're trying to recoup the cost of that survey and the delineation of where the sidewalks were. All I would like to suggest is that you, the treasurer, get this back out again to people so they can stop complaining about paying $75 in addition to the cost that they incurred to replace those sidewalks. It just seems there's a lot of misinformation floating around, and there's really, I mean, if they didn't attend the meeting, they wouldn't know, and if they didn't view the video, they wouldn't know, but the information was set out, and if they threw it out or what they did with it, I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe it's time a little blast go out on the township communications and say, folks, we're just trying to remind you that this was part of something we've done.
Thank you for that feedback. It's not, the people that got sidewalks replaced didn't get bills. What happened was that this board passed a resolution that said, when we do the sidewalk survey, we have to pay the engineering firm to, assess the sidewalks, go out for bid, do all the work, and the engineering costs get baked into that total project cost. And so if somebody opts out, that cost would be borne by the township. So what we didn't do a good job doing was explaining in the letter, because it was late in the first page. But the only people that got bills were those that opted out and either hired their own contractor or did the work themselves. If they got a bill from the township for the sidewalk replacement, that was already baked into the cost. Because we're not trying to make a profit on it, we're just trying to cover our costs. So those people that got sidewalks replaced by the township, the price that they paid included a small amount for the overhead. And that's why that went out. And this year, we're gonna do a better job of explaining that. And it's down at the bottom of page 1, and I could understand people didn't read it or they didn't understand it. So thank you for that feedback.
Yes.
Treasurer Dorshevitz, is it true to say that the people that are incurring this cost are people that in general have come as a subdivision to request that the township look into the replacement of the sidewalks, or is it something that is done by ordinance, or how is that chosen?
No, we split the township up into 5 zones, and we started zone 1.
East to west.
First east side, we went east to west, and we were in zone 5 right now. So the only question we had, and when you get a sidewalk replaced, it's a good deal because you're getting a bulk rate, and you can pay it off over 5 years with no interest. Now that we've done all 5 zones, we don't know if we're going to continue to do a no interest thing but I have sidewalks that I'm liable for this year. It was my turn, and I wouldn't even think of going and hiring somebody else. I'm using the township's contractor and paying it off over 5 years. So.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to tighten up that process so people understand the $77 is administrative and engineering fees for those who decide to not use the township contractor. And the reason sidewalks are being repaired is the Supreme Court says it's the responsibility of the Plymouth Township. If a trip and fall accident happens, we are one of the defendants in the case. In fact, usually the only one. And you probably see the ads for trip and fall cases on TV and on the billboards. And it's a change from 30-plus years ago, when it used to be called open and obvious, and the assumption then was that a reasonable person would see that crack and not trip over it, and if they did, it was their own fault. That was turned over 2.5 years ago by a new Supreme Court, so it tells you when you vote for the Supreme Court, there are consequences in your neighborhood. It's not just somebody who's far away in Lansing who wears a robe. They can affect your life.
They do wear robes, so.
All right, anyone else with non-agenda items? No? All right. So we'll go to new business now. And the first one is relatively routine, and let me turn to it. It is a organization that's nonprofit, a charity, wants to have a lottery or bingo. Let me see let me find it. The group is called Accelerating Hope, and they will fill out it's a Michigan lottery form, and they will then receive approval from the Michigan Gaming Commission, and there's a charitable gaming division as part of that. And we only have to acknowledge that they are a charitable organization that is recognized. And so that's the purpose of this, is to get them to the next step so they can be approved by the state of Michigan to carry on this fundraiser, which has an element of gambling or chance. Any questions? Otherwise, we'll need a motion.
Mr. Supervisor, I move to approve Resolution 2026-04-21-28, approving the local governing body resolution for charitable gaming. I was reading off of your screen, Bob.
I'm sorry.
Licenses. Licenses for Accelerating Hope, yes.
Second?
All right,
All right.
roll call.
Clerk Borba absent. Supervisor Kermy?
Yes.
Trustee Clinton?
Yes.
Trustee Grow?
Yes.
Treasurer Dorchevitz?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Buckley?
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 2 is, as part of the state law, we have to authorize the distribution of the master plan, which is a guideline for future zoning and land use in Plymouth Township. It's been worked on for nearly a year. It's something that normally would be done every 5 years, and we haven't done one since 2015, and we will be asking the board to distribute this online. By the way, it's online, and there's a hard copy in the clerk's office. It's pretty big, for the 63-day public comment period. And then from now, Liz Hart, our township planner, who's a consultant for McKenna and Associates in Northville, Michigan, will give us the details of how the process works and the timing plan.
Thank you, Supervisor Kermy. Good evening, trustees. Liz Hart with McKenna. So tonight before you, as Supervisor Kermy said, is the draft master plan, the 2026 plan. The Planning Commission's been working on it since 2005, has held many study sessions and public engagement throughout the process. And as required tonight, you are approving pretty much for this to be distributed for public comment for 63 days. This is to receive public comment from the township citizens. After this, all comments will be taken in by staff, reviewed, and presented to the Planning Commission, which they will discuss and determine pretty much essentially which comments they want to have addressed in the master plan, which ones they don't. From there, they'll hold a public hearing and then at another meeting, recommend approval or denial of the master plan to you, and then you guys will approve or deny the master plan in the final step. I believe our timeline is June right now. I would have to look it up. I apologize.
For the 63 days, but then probably July for township board approval.
Yes.
So I urge you to look at it. There's a lot of data in here. Remember, it doesn't mean that what is in here will happen. It's a guideline, a roadmap. There is a lot of pressure to include accessory dwelling units, which would be in your backyard, or missing middle housing, which is a duplex in your neighborhood next door. The state of Michigan is considering 5 to 9 bills, I think, that will essentially vacate the zoning ordinances at the local level and force new zoning requirements that will substantially increase density and local choice or local control. If you are opposed to that, I strongly urge you to contact your state representatives. One is Jason Morgan, who is the western half of Plymouth Township, and the other is Matt Colazar, who is the eastern portion. And then anyone else you know, to voice your opinion. If you support them, tell them that. If you don't support it, make sure you tell them that also.
Sheldon's the dividing line, right?
I think it's farther west. I'm not certain. I think it's Beck, yeah. And today was the filing day for people to be on the ballot. So I'm sure they've waited maybe until after the filing date to take action on this so that it wouldn't attract a lot of potential competition as a result of their position on these 5 to 9 bills that are being considered. Yes?
Mr. Supervisor, I would like to acknowledge, I am new to the Planning Commission, so I take no credit for this master plan. But a tremendous amount of hard work, hours, and effort have gone into putting it together. And we have our chairperson of the Planning Commission, Mr. Cebulski, in the back here. Our secretary, Mr. Boyd, one of our planning commissioners, Mr. Ikes. Treasurer Dorashevitz was involved for a long time with the Planning Commission and putting this plan together, as well as our former Planning Commissioner, Mr. Ladwick. I just want, and I hope I didn't miss anyone. If I did, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Callahan, I apologize. And I missed Mr. Callahan, but I
Tim
just.
Boyd is back there?
I did mention him.
Oh, you did, all
But
right.
I just want to acknowledge that I am very cognizant of all the effort and time that was put into it. And I think that it's pretty impressive. And we look forward to hearing your comments and concerns relative to, as you view the master plan.
So these people have essentially volunteered hundreds of hours at essentially no pay. And so when you hear people say, I don't have time to do something, you need to follow the leadership that these people have expended of giving up their personal time to ensure that Plymouth Township remains the high quality of life place that it has a reputation for. So they definitely do way above what is normally required in order to achieve a master plan that's usable.
And I apologize for not mentioning you, Planner Hart and McKenna and Associates, because there are several of you who are working on that. And you get to go to the meetings and hear our comments, and then you get to go back and change them, only to come to the next meeting and hear, we don't want this, and we don't want this, and we want that. So I appreciate all of the effort that everyone put into the development and distribution of the master plan.
So we need a motion. Well, first of all, is there any discussion, any comments from the audience? And then we will take discussion from the board.
Okay, Mr. Supervisor?
Well, hold on. Anybody from the board with any comments or any other questions? Okay. Go ahead.
Move to authorize a 63-day distribution and public comment period for the draft master plan as recommended by the Planning Commission.
Second.
Roll call.
Okay, Clerk Bova, absent. Trustee Buckley?
Yes.
Supervisor Kermy?
Yes.
Trustee Clinton?
Yes.
Treasurer Dorashevitz?
Yes.
Trustee Grow?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
So Vorva is excused, not necessarily absent. Well, he's absent and excused.
Excused.
All right, now, what you all come here to, I'm sure, be part of. Item 3 is a discussion and possible, and I stress possible, selection of a new township clerk. The clerk has a key job that many people don't know. Of course, we know it's elections, but they also have the job of a financial and accounting side where they approve the payroll and approve expenditures to vendors. In the absence of the clerk, the deputy clerk does that. So we've been fortunate enough that Paula Jefferson has been gracious to stay on, and Jerry Vorva is still on the payroll. So we've done that to preserve the operations of the township and not shut it down. There's not an easy way. I know a lot of people say, well, you just hire someone to do that. It's, with the state law, it's cumbersome. It isn't as easy as it sounds. So that's why we're doing the situation with keeping the deputy on. Under Michigan law, the clerk and deputy clerk are indispensable. So tonight, we're going to hear what people have to say. We're going to hear what the board says, of course, and we may or may not select somebody. If we don't select somebody, then we go to the next step. This has happened before. We've used the same process. 2 of the people here were affected by it. Mark Clinton and Treasurer Dorshevitz became treasurer using a nearly identical process. So this is not some engineered, crazy idea. So, what is your pleasure, board? We want to hear from them first, or you guys want to say something first? All right, we'll hear from anyone who has anything to say, or anyone from the audience that comes forward that maybe you want to be considered. Say it.
I would appreciate hearing from anyone who has worked in the Plymouth Township Clerk's office. Like
Well, don't put anybody on the
my
spot.
7-decade friend, Deb Dooley,
Wow, you guys are old.
but she is not someone who wants to be a public speaker. Okay.
Sue Bondi is working.
My friend Sue Bondi from Lake Point is approaching them, but I would appreciate if you would not be so humble and would recite your corporate work experience.
John, just
What?
Don't-
All that I've done?
Well, 40 years.
Oh, yes, well, I've
So,
done 40 years of,
be as clear and concise as possible so that we don't use up the entire night with 3 minutes. Go ahead.
okay, I've been a teacher for probably 20 years, but I also did a lot of corporate training for Visteon, Ford, can't remember why can't I remember it down in Monroe? I've worked for GM, Hewlett Packard, so I was global communications manager for a Hewlett Packard and GM project. I've worked in the clerk's office during elections primarily. I've worked under Jerry Vorva as clerk and Sandy Broth as deputy
Sue,
clerk.
talk to us.
And I would have to say that initially, Jerry couldn't have done the job if he didn't have Sandy, okay? Sandy knew the job, did the job well, and she was a stickler for doing things legally, and I do mean legally. I can't say when she was, when they found a way to dismiss her because, and so on. And at that time, I personally believed that the ultimate responsibility for that was in Jerry Vorva's hands. But unfortunately, she took the brunt. But after she left, I served in another election where Jerry was still the supervisor and Paula was the deputy. I can tell you that that election was not run with the integrity that it had been previously. I can personally say that, basically, average citizens were allowed to run operations that I don't believe they should have run. Okay, I won't go into any further details, but do I believe that Sandy could do that job? I think she could step into it tomorrow and do the job, okay? So that's my personal experience, having worked in the office. Thank you.
Next.
My name is Dale Bernhardt. Hello, Board.
Hello,
I want to
Dale.
make sure I get this right. Are there multiple trustees that are running for this clerk position?
According to the newspaper, there is.
There
Yeah,
is.
that could be
Okay.
considered
Just
as
want to
well.
make sure.
Hometown Life published that.
Okay. Every one of you on this board was elected by who? The residents of this township. And what did we entrust you to do? The best job possible. And that also means putting the most qualified servants in open positions. All of you need to take a deep look at yourself and ask if you are doing that. And if you desire a position that you are not qualified for, when there is someone else that is much more qualified, we expect you to honor the commitment you made to the residents to also get positions filled with the best. This should not be about satisfying the desires of a past fired supervisor. It is about fulfilling your duty to the residents with the highest degree of integrity and prayerful thought. So, Board, how do you want to be remembered? A board who did the right thing for the residents, or a board who acted on motives not consistent with their oath of office? Board, we implore you to do the right thing tonight and every night. Thank you.
I'll just put a check mark next to my name. Howard Hamrick again. I think the topic, it was elucidated by this young lady here, of fair, competently managed elections is a paramount issue in this country right now if you look at the polls. Therefore, any discrepancies in election become an alienation of the electorate. So in the next 6 months, whoever replaces the clerk will have 2 elections to end up supervising. This time frame doesn't allow for a lot of on-the-job training. Some things have been done. I quote from the township's website what the clerk's statement was. One of the visible responsibilities of the township clerk is election administration, which includes everything from registering voters to managing each and every election. Less visible to residents is the clerk's responsibility for managing the financial operations, which were alluded to, of the township, including the general budget, the general ledger, preparing detailed accounting records, utilizing state-prescribed uniform chart of accounts, and handling all the records, including meeting minutes, ordinances, contracts, and all other official documents. In addition to the above statutory duties, the township clerk office handles all freedom of information requests and is a certified passport facility. It would seem that these responsibilities would preclude an effective on-the-job training. When low information voters elect a person who lacks skills for a position, the voters are responsible for their action. And the option they have is to have informed electors mount a recall. When informed board members elect a person who lacks skills for a position, the only option is for informed electors to mount a recall for that person and the imprudent board members who voted for that person. The prudent person rule states, a prudent person has the ability to govern and discipline oneself by the use of reason, to plan ahead with using discernment, and the ability to prepare. A prudent person wouldn't jump in front of a moving train or run with eyes closed across a busy street. I recommend you exercise prudence as board members and act in the best interests of this community. Thank you for your attention.
I'll try to make it legible, but I don't promise anything. Hi, Jessica Debkowski. I live in Green Meadows. Longtime listener, first time caller. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank the board for the trustees that took the time to meet with me over the course of the last week when I expressed my interest in the open clerk position. I understand that the board feels this is not my time, and I hope to continue to build my resume in a way that will support my greater involvement in the future. Please let me know if there are other ways I can be of service to the township. Thank you.
Thank you.
So she's currently serving as our representative on the Michigan International Technology Center, which is a joint venture between Northville Township and Plymouth Township. Go ahead.
I have not met you.
But we traded email.
We emailed back and forth, and I must admit, in spite of my friend Patty Pozios with her Michigan shirt on, I have a strong favoritism for Albion undergrads and Notre Dame Law School graduates. Your resume is very impressive. But most importantly, thank you for your service to the people of Plymouth Township and your willingness to step forward. I don't know if this is exactly the position for you, but you're a shining star.
Hello.
He's happy now.
Anything else? Okay. Richard Beers, 9651 Fellows Hill Court. How many people have applied for the clerk's position besides the two trustees?
We have not had a formal application process.
Okay, so my recommendation is interview as many people that you can for the job. Obviously, you have a candidate that has some experience in the job previous, another one has expressed interest on the board. I would highly encourage people from outside the board to apply for the job if you're interested. Hopefully the lady gets some votes here. The other question I have for the board, for the two that are applying for the job, are you going to excuse yourself for votes because of a conflict of interest? Or are you going to vote for yourself or vote against it yourself?
You have the right to vote for yourself.
Yeah, they can
Okay.
vote for themselves.
All right, I just was wondering another thing, why it took so long for you guys to do this. I would have hoped that you would have had the vote already. You've known for a while that Clerk Vorva has resigned. So I was hoping in the future, if that happens again, you guys would move a little more quickly and get any replacement since the elections are coming. So that's the only thing I'm really saying right now. Just in the future, try to be a little more proactive and move quicker if you can. I know it was a shock to the system, he resigned, and wish him the best. But that's all I have to say for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Tavarozzi, 46649 Arboretum Circle. A year and a half ago, the majority of you ran for office on a platform promoting more transparency, more public input, fiscal responsibility, and an end to autocratic one-man rule. We stand here now with minimal transparency, limited opportunity for public input before decisions are already made, frequent instances of failure to adhere to township purchasing, procurement, and vendor contract policies, board meetings which are canceled at critical points when public input is crucial and critical, particularly, again, before decisions are made. Key committees, such as the election committee made up of some of you elected officials, met for only 7 minutes. to approve a major overhaul of voter precincts and polling places. When the voters went to the polls to vote for all of your township positions, it was reasonable to expect that anyone unable or unwilling to complete their term would trigger the opportunity for the citizens to vote again to select their preferred replacement. That's what we do in a representative democracy. The slow walking of this for over 2 months has now prevented that opportunity for the citizens of Plymouth Township. It is sad that the intelligence of the township voters is being denigrated by this board. To ask citizens to believe that there have been no behind closed doors discussions and planning among all of you before tonight is not only a sad commentary on your perception of the intelligence of the citizens of this township, it is also the total and complete opposite of the transparency and end to one-man rule that you promised the voters less than 18 months ago. Beginning this evening and going forward, we, the citizens, deserve and are expecting to see more open and robust dialogue with public, increased transparency, introduction of creative and more collaborative solutions to problems, and responsible stewardship. Thank you.
I always screw this up, don't I? Okay, Bill Pine. The last administration set the precedent of delayed appointments when Mark Clinton was forced to resign as treasurer for a stroke. The supervisor delayed replacement for 6 months to avoid an election. Bob Dorashevitz became treasurer, Jen Buckley became trustee. Chuck Kermy has followed that precedent by delaying only 1 month when Jerry Vorva chose to resign for health reasons that predated his ever running, seeking the most qualified, experienced person to be clerk. This avoids the expense of a special election, so an experienced clerk with core competencies in elections, budgeting, and finance can take over. Sandy Groth and now Jen Buckley have expressed interest, so let's compare. Performance as a trustee. Jen, over the past 4 or so years, you've been the least knowledgeable, least experienced trustee. Sandy is the most competent, qualified, knowledgeable trustee, making the most positive impact for the residents by reading the board packet to prepare documents and goals. Job experience, do you know how the clerk's office works? Jen, no. Sandy, yes. Have you ever worked in a clerk's office? Jen, no. Sandy, yes. Have you ever run a clerk's office? Jen, no. Sandy, yes. Have you ever run an election? Jen, no. Sandy, yes. Do you have the skill to run 2 elections in 2026? Jen, no. Sandy, yes. Are you certified to be a clerk? To run an election? Jen, no. Sandy, yes. Do you know the current status of the township clerk's office and the qualifications of its personnel? Jen, no. Sandy, yes. Do you know the current problems in the clerk's office? Jen, no. Sandy, yes. Do you have experience in township budgeting and finance? Jen, no. Sandy, yes. Do you have the integrity to stand up to abusive politicians, even at personal risk to yourself? Jen appears to be carrying the water for folks like that now, so probably no. Sandy has already done that, so yes. She has grit, exceptional integrity, and has proven her ability to stand up to those above her. Some of the folks who are orchestrating what's going on right now and who have not properly served the residents. Successful delegation depends on a leader with enough knowledge to build a framework for their subordinates to follow, and having subordinates who are knowledgeable enough to carry out the tasks that have been delegated to them. Sandy, as a knowledgeable subordinate, actually did that for years for Jerry Vorva when he was ill. In fact, she built the framework to accomplish the needed work. Jen doesn't know enough to establish that framework to be able to lead. It is irresponsible to talk of delegation, leadership, calling, and duty with no qualification or background experience. The results could be disastrous for the township. Also, a successful leader must be willing and able to put in the 8 to 10 and an election time 16-hour workdays every day to properly fulfill their duties as interim clerk. Finally, a number of former clerk employees are requesting to come back and work for Sandy because she is a leader with a positive work environment. This is not being considered by 3 of the board members, and I'm almost done. Mark, Jen, and Bob, based on what happened years ago, stop being hypocrites. Heisey lost. Stop enabling him. You're tarnishing your reputations. Plymouth Township deserves better. A sensible compromise, if you really want to do this, Jen, would be to have Sandy step in as interim clerk, mentor you, so you can learn some stuff, and then let the voters decide in 2028. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No? All right. Pardon? Pardon?
Can I add a couple comments?
No,
Just very quick.
no. we
Just-
can't.
Well, there's no one else that wants to talk, so you can go one more time, but not for 3 minutes.
No, I don't have 3 minutes. I want everyone to consider the importance, if we didn't have 2 solid elections.
You got to talk to us, because we're going to make the decision.
Okay, if we didn't have 2 very important elections happening this year, I could see going through the effort of running a special election and voting. I get that. But I'm telling you, we need somebody that is extremely qualified. I only know of 2 people that would be qualified to step into this position. Sandy is number 1, definitely, because she has run it more recently. She knows the problems of the office, and it's a very complex, if you've never worked an election, it's a very complex situation. I'll tell you one thing, my son-in-law was head of operations manager at Plymouth Canton, and one of the things that he complained about Jerry about every year there was election was the lack of communication. He would last minute call up and say, oh, we need room this, and we need so many chairs and so forth. And they didn't even know there was an election running at one time. So I'm just telling you that you have to consider the importance of these elections and that we need somebody qualified who can step in now.
We have some other people, well, okay, I guess we got some other people. Speak in, you put that mic down.
There we go.
Okay. I wanted to say that one day I came into Township Hall to talk to Sandy, and she convinced me to fill out a form to count ballots at election time. And I did, I believe it was 3 elections with you, Sandy, I'm not sure. But she is the most organized, efficient person I have ever worked with. And she taught me a whole lot about elections because she knows a whole lot. So if somebody is going to be voted in tonight that knows nothing about elections, that's just the wrong move by our board. And the board is here to represent the citizens, not a former supervisor. We need to do the right thing here. And can I mention something about a previous thing? The sidewalk program. I didn't have my sidewalk fixed, but I got a bill in the mail last week for $77. So I called Bob's office on Thursday. The girl told me he was busy, so he would call me back Friday. I got no call on Friday, so I sent him an email.
We sent you a corrected
I got
bill.
no response back from the
Wait
email.
a minute, we sent you a corrected
So I
bill.
sent another email
That's not true.
today.
Don't ever diminish my employees.
I do not have a response from your email.
That's not true.
Anyway, yes,
So it
I
got
haven't
sent in the
gotten
mail.
it.
Don't
There was
ever-
something on
don't ever
next door
diminish my
tonight before I
employees. We
came
sent
to
you a
this
corrected
meeting.
bill.
And there was a postcard there.
Because she's lying about my employees.
Bob, just wait. Just wait, Bob. Okay, finish what you're saying.
Okay, so there was this postcard, and the lady had her sidewalk fixed in '24. And I believe it came from, is it D-Decker that was doing this?
Spalding D-Decker, SDA.
Anyway, they said if you did it yourself, that you wouldn't even need a permit. Didn't say anything about a fee in there. And as far as that fee goes, I pay taxes, you all pay taxes, and our taxes go for the wages for those inspectors. So shouldn't that cover the fee of them looking at the sidewalk?
No. And the reason why is it's called a special assessment district. Sidewalks are a completely separate entity. We don't put tax money towards the repair of sidewalks.
No, not repairs, for them to inspect it after
That's
you...
part of the package. It's a project that Spalding
Well,
and
I
Decker is
don't
hired
recall
to do.
getting a thing that's saying if I use my own company, I have to pay a fee.
That's because there's administration overhead, and otherwise
I
it
know,
gets
but
passed
did
on
it
to
come in the
everybody.
mail to all residents?
Pardon?
Did it come in the mail to all residents?
Only
saying there
residents
would be
received a letter
fee?
who had sidewalks that were considered for repair. Not 100%. Only residents, addresses that indicated the sidewalks needed repair. So that's where the $77 came from. Prior to that, the township was absorbing some, Trailwood is the one that kicked it off. There was a person in this room was really smart, got all their neighbors together, and it caused us to absorb about $35,000 that we can't continue to do. So that's why we put that fee in there.
Okay. And I didn't get an answer back from Bob.
It might have
whether or
come in
not-
the US mail.
Okay.
Did it come in it was sent by US mail, Bob?
Yeah.
And it says 0 on it?
Yep.
So the new invoice is 0. So what happened is most likely Spalding to Decker made an error and showed that you had repairs done, and so there was a correction.
Okay.
We are working to streamline the process. So this is only the second year we've used the fee.
Okay. Well, I'm just one final thing. I hope the board does the right thing tonight. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Stacy Romine. I live in Plymouth Township in the Twin Arbors sub on the east side. I have some prepared comments, however, it's unsure to me if we're going to have a vote or decision tonight or not, so my comments may or may not be fully applicable.
Say them anyway. It's okay.
I will do my best. They're all jumbled at this point because of not knowing that. I have an extensive background in corporate human resources for 33 years with Mazda and Ford Motor Company. And in part of that time, I spent time in U.S. recruiting, so I have background in recruiting. Regarding politics, each of the candidates that we're talking about tonight that I know of is Ms. Buckley and Ms. Groth. Each of these candidates already has a position on the Board of Trustees and will continue in their roles. So at the end of the evening, if we do happen to make a decision, there is no gain or loss to the township or their constituents in that regard. So I hope our trustees can focus on the decision today, and that is about who is best qualified for the role and to step into the clerk position for our township. With a primary election coming up in roughly 3 months and a general election in roughly 6 months, the board has a responsibility to the township to choose a candidate who has the best experience and credentials to meet the legal requirements and the scrutiny that faces every election in any location. So with my full respect given to the candidates, and thank you for putting your names forward, honestly, my commentary is to specifically in regards to the roles and responsibilities and qualifications for the position of township clerk. That is what you do when you recruit a candidate for a position. That's what you look at. So we need a candidate who can, or a person who can execute all the legal requirements for the township and face any scrutiny or audits that may arise. Hopefully we don't have any. Respectfully, we have a qualified candidate on hand who is ready to serve. I believe it's a responsible decision for the township, if a decision is to be made between these two candidates, to select Ms. Groth based on her experience. Meanwhile, with regard to politics, and the future. Each can continue their role on the Board of Trustees. It's very important to the community. We have respect for all of you here. But you can choose to run for the position as a township clerk at the next election. I know there's a lot of water under the bridge to get us to where we are today, a lot of bad feelings on how this happened, when things are happening, and I'm sorry for all that. But at the end of the day, we have a decision to fill the job with a candidate who can step in and do the job to the best of the ability for our township today. Thank you for your time.
So I'll just make a few
Well, let's finish with them, and then you,
Okay.
anyone else? All right, so we're done with comments from the audience. Now the township board can deliberate, and it'll be a little different than what you're used to with, it'll be more of a free-form discussion, I assume, so that we can get out what we want to say and get to the right decision. And remember, if we don't have a decision today, then we'll have to do another process. And we'll discuss that afterwards. So you want to go first?
Yeah, I'd just like to make a few comments that I have heard some of the citizens speak, and I have heard the concerns that are being brought forth today. That's no surprise, of course. I expected to hear that. One of the biggest things that I would like to contribute or to advocate for myself here in this particular position that I find myself in, which is putting myself out there for this role. And that's just the rapport and the special connection that I already have with the clerk staff right now. I am very honored that they would even look to me to step into the role. And I know while some of you are giggling and everything like that, I have worked with these ladies, and I feel that is rather offensive. These are good and dedicated staff members. Our deputy chief here, Paula, has worked several elections. And you must know that the clerk and the deputy chief go hand in hand, okay? And they work together. So the clerk, should that be me tonight, who steps into that role, I'm not alone. I'm not out there just trying to wing it and figure it out, okay? I have someone that will be walking with me. I would have a dedicated staff for all the functions, roles, and responsibilities that everyone is referring to tonight. I absolutely take that seriously. And I just want you to be assured, okay, of that. Now, if Sandy were to be chosen tonight, my understanding is most of the staff would resign, and a new deputy clerk would have to be.
Wait, no.
Oh, hold on. No.
I don't know what the grumbles
Don't make
are about.
comments.
You already laughed at them, so I don't know what the grumbles are about. But then she'd have to appoint a deputy clerk to go with her who would be also inexperienced. So it's kind of like a switch here, okay? So, yeah. So I'm just giving you the scenario, the situations, the feel for the situation. And I can also tell you that as a veteran, I have
Quiet.
very disrespectful, honestly, really. I'll just leave it there.
Oh, finish your comment.
No.
Oh, all right.
So I had, to address one of the questions, I had written a guest editorial. I think it was when Price was elected supervisor.
Get closer.
Arguing that the first choice should be somebody that is currently on the board, and then if we can't fill it, then to go out to the public, because I believe that while they weren't elected into that position, they were elected. So I stand behind that. I don't want to say this is really uncomfortable forum for me to say why I would make the decision I would make, because I don't want to disparage people. And I have had all the private conversations that I'm having, and that's where I'll come to my decision from. But I'm not going to publicly run somebody down because they're my colleagues on the board, and I like Sandy and I like Jen, and I'm going to hope we can continue to work together, whoever emerges as the candidate.
I got a question. The most important thing is Paula. Paula's the assistant clerk. She's been doing there for 6 years, and she's been doing that flawlessly.
Yeah.
The most important thing is we need Paula. So my question, and I'll start with you, Jen, if you would elect and you won, would you keep Paula?
100%.
Oh, this is conjecture.
Sandy?
I've already,
Sandy, if you were elected, would you keep Paula?
No, I would not.
Okay. I've made my decision.
Okay. I come from a Dutch Presbyterian family, and we can barbecue or have fried sermon every Sunday. But I don't understand your willingness to impugn. The word impugn, I-M-P-U-G-N, assign a false motive to somebody. I don't understand your willingness to do hypotheticals. That's morally, ethically wrong, and intellectually dishonest.
who are you talking to?
Morally, there you go. You accuse me of interrupting you when the record
just
reflects
asked,
you
who are you
interrupt me
talking to?
more than.
Are you questioning me or interrogating
Keep
me?
talking. Keep talking. Explain some more.
This is what you guys
Explain
want,
some more.
honestly.
John,
25 years ago, I had a unnecessary recount imposed upon my family. I won a state rep race by 81 votes. I came to the Plymouth Township board, and Sandy pulled out this ubiquitous white notebook, 3-ring binder, and said, we're going to follow the rules. You can't ask anything more than follow the rules from A to Z. And you know, this is reprehensible if people don't want to just stick to the. Do you know that early voting starts in 60 days? June 20. The supervisor, with my support, and I had no input, he has moved the early voting to Township Hall. Absentees are out in 60 days. Over 100 days to August 4. Just over 100 days. I have seen and had to read the vitriol, the venom, from a couple of you in the Detroit News and in local papers. And it's just, Beth and I are not going to be speaking to a couple of people for the rest of our lives. Bottom line, I never saw anything like this in 42 years of law practice, and I took 6 years off and went to the state legislature because, you know, my fellow reps, Democrats and Republicans, said to me, he votes his district. There's only one consideration that we ought to have here tonight. What is in the best interest of the people? And as somebody who's been self-employed for over 40 years in the same office on Main Street in Plymouth, you provide 3 things: service, service, and service. I don't want to talk at these meetings. We have a petulant child, and I call him that on the record, for a former supervisor. And now Peter Lucido is going to have to deal with him. I find that delightful. I find that delightful. So let's talk about who is in our best interest. I had to drive to Lansing 25 years ago. Imagine sending your college-age daughters to the clerk's offices. They were honors graduates, and I know Bob dislikes this because he likes to badmouth my daughters. They're honors graduates of Grand Valley and Western Michigan, and they went to the clerk's offices in Livonia, City of, and Township of Plymouth, City and Township of Northville. I drove to Lansing. I had to have Chris Thomas tell me, John, you're in the clear. And Richard knows what I'm talking about. There's never been a recount in Michigan that has overturned over 6 or 7 votes. But Carl Berry put me through it. And then in 2006, my wife was unemployed for 2 years, but for a bulk mailing permit. Plymouth Township does not, and that resonated in Lansing. I had to go back to the state legislature for 6 months and go into the caucus room and say, well, what's up with your wife using a bulk mailing permit? I said, well, she got permission from the local post office. So let's go back to the focus here. Who can provide service? Who is going to do what is in the best interest of the people? When I die, and I turn 77 a week from Friday, Law Day, May 1, I hope it's, I voted in the best interest of the people. I have no problem believing that Paula and Sandy can't get along or can't work something out that would be compatible. I greatly admired Kevin Bennett. For 14 years, we had a very congenial, extremely positive, congenial relationship, collegial. But he has some serious medical problems that he's facing, and that's why he is resigning. So we don't know. I'm not going to assess that Paula is going to be wedded to the deputy job. That shouldn't be a contingent on who you vote for, but it is. Reality, what is. And if you have integrity, then nothing else matters. If you don't have integrity, then nothing else matters. So, thank you very much.
I don't know. I don't know why so many people allow Kurt Heisey to live rent-free in your head. I never talked to him. He has nothing to do with any position I take. But so many of the election's over. The election, and I support Chuck, and he knows that, because I want him to be successful, because I live in this township too, right, Chuck?
Right. Although on this one, we'll see what happens.
Well,
but
that means that, but people just let Heisey live rent-free in your heads. Why do you do that? Forget about him, he's gone.
That's a good way of putting it.
Okay, relevant to that subject, there was a Detroit News photographer here 3 months ago, a lady. I was the only one, even including the audience and the board of members, who introduced myself to them. And then I knew we were going to be set up. Then it was Chad Livengood, and then it was Francis X. Donnelly, and Bill Ikes has challenged me. He's challenged me to put it on record that Francis X. Donnelly told me that Kurt Heisey had provided the information, he wanted to provide the chaos, and he wanted to take me down to get to Kermie. Because he turned 60, Heisey turned 60 in February, and he wants to run for supervisor in 24 months. Francis X. Donnelly, I got to look at him in the eye, face to face. I've invited him to my office, and not to stand in front of my desk for 19 minutes and stare at me, with 2 of my tenants right there observing same.
Okay, John.
But let me finish. We have got to look, we get all around the issue, and we have good intellects that aren't being used by the Plymouth Rock. Laura Colvin's here from O&E, and she gets published in the Free Press. My wife, use your imagination. Everybody knows Beth Stewart. 99.9% of all people like Beth Stewart. And if you can't get along with her, you can't get along with anybody. What do you think she thinks about this whole thing? I'll tell you what she thinks. It's been a feces job on Sandy. those of you who know I don't like to swear publicly, it's been a feces job on Sandy Growth. Or a lynching. But just remember, who's going to get us in shape for 60 days from tomorrow for absentee voting, early voting, inside this township hall? Who's going to have us in shape? Who is talking with the lady who ran 9 clean elections and was torpedoed by a cheap shot because she put something mistakenly on her credit card? Nancy Councilman. Well, I'm telling you something. Sandy Growth has a collegial relationship. God forbid she has a D after her name. But Sandy Growth talks to Nancy Councilman. I think she can talk to anybody. I think she and Paula can come to a mutually agreement, and it would be by consent. So, but I can't change anybody's vote. So let's vote.
Do you have any idea what a lynching is?
No, Bob, you are not well.
Okay.
Bob, you are not well.
Stop. These are all unrelated things. All right, just, let's go to the next. Sandy Growth, your turn.
First off, I want to
Get
thank...
close to the mic.
First off, I want to thank all of you who came here tonight and spoke on my behalf. The clerk and the treasurer have the legal authority to choose their deputy. It is not anyone else's business or job. I do not tell the treasurer who to employ. No one is going to tell me if I'm the clerk, because I'm going to choose the person I believe to be in the best interest of this township. 2 years ago, at election time, we had citizens who were, the nicest way I can say it is that the clerk's office staff was weaponized against the citizens. And any citizen who is sitting here who got a ticket for being in a parking lot and maybe violating the 100-foot rule, but maybe not, I don't know why anyone here would question why I would not choose deputy clerk, not deputy chief, Paula Jefferson. Paula Jefferson was hired when I was here. I have no problem personally with Paula Jefferson. I'm glad that Mr. Trustee Clinton thinks Paula Jefferson is the primary issue here, because I think it's all of you. And I think elections are about integrity, and I think they're about proven experience, and I am so disgusted by our former supervisor, Kurt Heisey, and our soon-to-be former clerk, Jerry Vorva, who have gone out publicly and lied about me and attacked me when I did his job the entire time I was here. Why did he hire me? Because I'm experienced and knowledgeable. Because I have integrity. And because in the end, I am here for one reason: you. And I am very troubled by the fact that I have fellow board members sitting here tonight who know me and know my background and are saying the entire staff of the clerk's office would leave if I'm selected. See you later, guys, because you don't belong here if that's the way you do your job. I am disgusted that people sitting up here who've known me for a long time, who I helped get elected, have taken a stand against me because they've decided that our deputy clerk does such a great job that it's more important for her to be here. So we have a trustee candidate stepping up to be clerk so that our deputy can do her job for the elections because she doesn't know it. And I have an email between us, respectfully, where she asked me if I would throw my hat in the ring, and I explained my experience, and she said that Treasurer Dorshevitz told her there were only 2 or 3 people in the entire township qualified to do the clerk's job. That means hit the ground running and get us through the 2 elections. I'm not here to be popular. I'm here to represent you, follow the law, show integrity, and if people don't want to work with me, maybe they don't belong here.
Okay.
Is there an email from Trustee Buckley saying, I would support you?
Yes. Yeah, that's
Has it been
before,
done in this
that's
past
before
week?
information was given
Wait,
to
wait.
me, so I could make a better decision on if you're able to get along with our
So in the last 48
staff.
hours, you've changed your mind?
Absolutely.
What staff is not able to get along with me?
No, the ones that
Anybody
you
who
came
votes for
into
you
the
should
office
step
and
down
said, you
tonight.
people disgust
Anybody who
me.
votes for you should
You
step
don't
down
talk to
tonight.
people that way.
Hold
How
on.
do you
Okay,
manage a
one at a
department if
time.
you can't get along with them?
Excuse
You'd
me.
have to redo the entire staff with a new clerk. You would be completely solo.
You know what?
All right.
I can do it
Hold
because
on.
I know the job.
Sandy,
So-
can you or can you not get along with people?
Actually, I get along very well with people. And if there is anyone sitting here who's saying otherwise, they've never told me they have a problem with me. And why is it that I have 3 people that used to work in the clerk's office who have contacted me and said, if you happen to be appointed clerk, give me a call, name it. I will be there and I will help you. So I won't be alone. I'll have 3 more people, experienced previous employees with me.
You okay, John?
Do you have copies of that email?
John, sit down.
It's irrelevant if I said I would support. I can change my decision, just like some board members will change their decision.
You also said, Trustee Buckley, that you said that you would like to help if I was appointed, but you couldn't do it full-time, but you might be able to do it part-time. So I question if you're going to be the same kind of clerk as the one we're going to lose, who makes $120,000 a year to work part-time.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
Are you
All
ready
right.
for nomination?
John, wait. All right. Yeah, we're ready, John. Go. John?
According to the agenda, it says, name or appoint and recommend.
You have to move, what,
I have to make a motion. Okay.
right?
Page 115. May I proceed?
Yes.
Move that the board states its intent to appoint Sandy Grout as township clerk with the appointment to take effect upon the Board of Trustees' formal acceptance of the current clerk's resignation, ensuring a seamless transition and no gap in the authority.
Second.
Yes, of course.
You want me to repeat it? Okay.
All right.
I think
Just
council
repeat it.
has approved this resolution also, because there's a motion, there's a contingent precedent in here that we have to vacate or accept the
Later.
resignation. Let me finish. Move that the board states its intent to appoint Sandy Grout as township clerk with the appointment to take effect upon the Board of Trustees' formal acceptance of the clerk's resignation, ensuring a seamless transition and a no gap in authority. That was written by a layman and probably approved by a lawyer.
Second.
Okay.
Third.
So,
Call the vote.
now I have just a couple of things to say. We want to maintain operations here. We have to have a clerk and a deputy to do that correctly. We have not only elections, we have financial issues which require payroll and paying vendors. So, I have spoken with MTA. There's not an easy way to do this without having the right people on board. So, we're ready for a roll call.
Okay, roll call, Clerk Volber excused, Supervisor Kermy.
Do you want to do the waiver issue?
Yeah, we need to put the,
Yeah, I'm not gonna make an issue of it.
Okay. Mr. Supervisor, I have the language here.
We can add it if you think it would be beneficial.
we probably should add it,
Yeah.
but how do we weave that in?
Well, it's just part of the motion. It's part of the motion.
So he's got to add it in then,
Yeah.
and we've got to.
Oh.
Here. But, all right, what this concerns is Sandy's severance agreement. We're going to add that this resolution rescinds and/or waives any contractual provision that may prohibit Sandy Growth from being appointed as township clerk. Second, or I accept that. Is that right?
Correct.
All right.
Okay, so,
Last week, Sandy Growth walked around and gave you a piece of paper. I was prohibited from doing that in February of 2025. So I'm doing it
John.
now, and I've never touched anyone without
John.
their consent.
Please.
John,
Okay,
let's.
well, I got a lot of latent resentment.
Yeah, I know, but this is the place to express it.
And Plunky Cooney's ready.
No, stop, John. All right,
okay.
we're
Clerk
going to
Volber
vote, we're
excused.
voting on whether Sandy Growth should be the consensus appointment for clerk.
Okay, all right,
And then we-
Supervisor Kermy.
Yes.
Trustee Clinton.
No.
Trustee Grow.
Yes.
Treasurer Dorchevitz.
No.
Trustee Stewart.
Yes.
Okay, and then Trustee Buckley.
No.
So I have a deadlock, which means no decision was made. So,
I'll move that the board states its intent to support Jennifer Buckley as township clerk with the appointment to take effect upon the Board of Trustees' formal acceptance of the current clerk's resignation, ensuring a seamless transition and no gap in authority.
Second.
Second. Didn't know you're done. Second.
Oh.
Clinton, okay.
So when there are no payables and no employee checks or any other checks are signed because upon the acceptance of our resignation of Clerk Vorba, Deputy Clerk Jefferson will not be here. So, no, excuse me, we are going to say this because we are responsible adults. We owe it to our community to move forward, stop relying on things that are not true, and accept the fact that we shut it down when we're not if we don't have a clerk. We can't pay bills. We can't keep running the government. And you have 6 people up here, all of whom are elected, all of whom are entitled to their own opinions. And I don't have a problem with it. I don't respect it. But we are here to do what is best for you and only you.
okay, so there's a motion on the floor to consensus appoint Jennifer Buckley to clerk. So do we have a roll call?
Okay, Jerry Borbett excused. Supervisor Kermy.
No.
Okay. Trustee Clinton.
Yes.
Trustee Grow.
No.
Treasurer Dorchevitz.
Yes.
Trustee Stewart.
No.
Trustee Buckley.
Yes.
Okay. No decision, impasse. So this is the reason why you don't take the resignation before you have a candidate. Because tomorrow morning, we have $2 million worth of bills to be signed off on by the deputy clerk. She's graciously doing that as an employee and as a continuing deputy. So keeping operations moving is important. I see some people shaking their head that don't believe that this is the issue. MTA, 3 attorneys have all said this is an issue because we don't have a clerk that died. If they died, it'd be a different story. So,
We might be able to arrange that.
So we need to open it up to the public then.
well, we're gonna discuss that. We're gonna discuss that. So we won't be going on to the next item, which is to discuss a date to accept the resignation. We could have a special meeting on May 5th to continue the deliberations. Opening it up to the public is one idea. Let me check the calendar, see if May 5th is the date of a Tuesday. We don't want to do it next week if we can avoid it because we don't have time to prepare.
So the question
Hold
is,
on, let's
should
see
we
the-
open it up to the public and
Let-
get more candidates?
So it's May 5th. Let's do some of the pros and cons about opening up to the public. If you select somebody who's a total stranger to the job, you do impart a whole lot of risk because they have to run an election. We've mitigated if we'd have done it the way some people want, where we would have gone to an election, the person would have had to have campaign and spend their own money in 2 elections and run 2 elections, and they'd never done that before. That's too high risk. I know some people think the job is that simple that you could just drop in or you'd hire somebody to do it or whatever. So delegate, you can, I guess. So we're in a box, and right now, there's no quick answer. The other thing that nobody's talked about, well, a little bit, people have alluded to it. Jerry Vorva was a Republican, and I want to see a Republican in that office because the voters voted for somebody who's a Republican. I know that Democrats feel they should have a shot at it. Well, you'll get that shot in 2028, but right now, I want it to remain Republican. So that reduces the pool of people who are available in my mind, since I won't agree to someone unless they are a Republican or can show that they have values that are consistent with small government and maybe more strict election scrutiny.
Do we have that authority, though?
No, this is just a want. Oh, sure, you have an authority. You don't have to vote for somebody because of their party, but this is a partisan. Many people, the city of Plymouth is nonpartisan, but here, by township law, it's partisan. And that's the way the 1963 Constitution set it up.
But what I'm saying is we can't bar them from applying.
Oh, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. No, I'm just talking about some of the pros and cons of putting it out to the public. We would probably do that and have done it if a trustee spot opened up. But this one is too complex of a job, and elections are looming. It is not, we can't have a on-the-job learner. So already for the last months, even before the resignation, there's been more burden distributed throughout the township because we don't have a clerk here every day. So what do you think about having a special meeting on May 5th with one item is to attempt to select the clerk again? There is also another alternative, but I don't know much about it. We'll have to learn about it, is I don't know if it still applies, but at one time, the Republican 6th Congressional District Committee could be involved in making the selection, but I don't know the mechanism.
I think that's if we accept the resignation and after 45 days.
You mean if we go beyond 45 days? We'll have to check into that. We'll have to lawyer that a little bit, because amazingly, a lot of this stuff is not black and white. There are people that have differing opinions who are attorneys and/or MTA, Michigan Townships Association.
And beyond 40 days, the county
On
would...
45.
45 days, the county would get involved if we can't find somebody.
Well, maybe Paula, maybe the deputy clerk Paula, and, I mean, delicate compromise and consensus. Maybe Sandy Groth and Paula can come back to us with a recommendation the 1st of May. And maybe we ought to follow it.
Yeah, we can, you know, that is, Mark Clinton's biggest objection is the loss of Paula Jefferson, right?
Paula's been the one running the elections for the last, 8 years? I mean, the last time Sandy ran an election was over 8 years ago, and the laws have changed.
Are you suggesting I don't know the laws, the changes?
I don't
keep
know
up
what
with
you
that
know and
stuff.
what you don't know, but Paula's been successfully running the elections for 8 years. That's why we want to keep her on.
But
We trust
Paula
her.
does not even live here, Bob, so why is
What
that
is-
more important than putting someone in who's a
Because
resident?
we've seen 8 years, I've witnessed
Okay.
8 years of successful
Yeah.
elections.
You guys were touting experience, and she's...
Yeah, we've had 8 or 9 years of high C Borba.
But
And you prohibited me, Mark,
we're going,
from
okay, we're
distributing
talking.
this. So I'm going to give it to you right now.
John, just stay over there. John, stay over there. Don't create another incident that I have to deal with and
This
you
is
do.
part of the toxic culture, just so you know.
It's a battery.
Yeah, you're
Why Jerry left.
you're fueling
I was
the
prohibited from
narrative.
handing this out
Why are
What
you
is it?
attacking Mark?
by Mark.
He's just sitting here being
February
nice and quiet.
2025. He committed a battery on me.
I wouldn't
What are you
take him on,
talking about?
John.
Go find the
just
best
stay over
lawyer
there.
you can find.
John,
I'd like to
please.
make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Well, okay, so May 5th is going to be the, no, I'm not adjourning the
What's
meeting
gonna
because
change?
I don't know what's going to change yet, but we're going to see if we
Why
can.
did you elect him? I just want to know. I'm absolutely sick and tired of this show.
Okay. All right, so comments before we adjourn. Do we have any? Otherwise, I have a few.
I want to thank the Plymouth Library.
No, sit down, John. Stop creating problems.
You have a couple residents.
Well, no, if you'd get control of the meeting, you wouldn't
But-
create problems.
Stop, please.
All right,
What about,
hold on.
We
Go
don't
ahead.
know what he's talking about.
All right, what, you want to say something? Go ahead.
So what about if we open it up to the public? We'd still have these two candidates. What we could do is, we could announce it tomorrow morning, get it out on all the channels, get it out in the community. It'll get out there by the end of the day tomorrow. We can give them 12 days, which would include 2 weekends, so all the applications would be due back a week from Sunday, say at 3 o'clock. And then if we had more than 4, we could have a special meeting on Monday and shortlist them to 4, and then have a second special meeting that first week of May, and give each candidate 30 minutes, and then we can develop a system for a point system or something that we can choose a candidate from.
All right, we'll discuss some process, but your dates, I don't understand what you,
Let me get a calendar.
next
up.
week is the 28th. Don't want that because we're not ready. The next week after that is May 5th. It's a Tuesday.
Yeah, so let me get the calendar up.
Here it is.
Are you encouraging trustee Groth and deputy?
Just
Paula
wait,
Jefferson?
John, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let's do some logistics here. Don't make issues for me, because then I have to clean it up.
I'm just going to say, trustee Stewart, what I said before, the clerk and the treasurer get to appoint their deputies. And I was just told tonight that our deputy clerk is gonna leave if I'm appointed and half of the office. So tell me where you're gonna find the trust in all of that and why you would want to effectively move forward for the benefit of the citizens when there's no trust in the leadership.
Exactly,
Say that again?
exactly.
Okay, I have
Wait,
confidence.
I
John.
don't trust you.
We're working on the date here, John. So just wait to be recognized. I've got the calendar here. May 5th is a Tuesday. April 28th is a Tuesday. So we could wait and collect letters of interest, which creates a jump ball, but we don't have to make any decisions on it right now.
They would be due by, let's say, by 3 o'clock on Sunday, the
what?
The first Sunday in May.
So that doesn't give you enough time to distribute them in a packet?
Well, somebody might have to work on a Sunday for a few hours.
Yeah,
So-
but, okay, 18 hours or whatever?
So, if Monday, if we had more than 4 applicants, then on Monday, we would shortlist them, and when we do the interviews, each candidate would be asked the same question, and we you can't prohibit them from being in the room because it's an open meeting, but out of courtesy, the candidates would.
Do I understand you correctly? You're reopening this to anybody and everybody?
He's just.
I'm brainstorming.
He's brainstorming, bringing it out loud. We don't have to do what he's saying. We're listening to him. So let's listen to him and.
When he's finished, could we hear what some citizens?
Yeah, we'll do that at the end when we have public comment again. So.
We're at a deadlock right now.
Right, and this is not new. We did that before when Jennifer Buckley got appointed. We had a deadlock too and went to another meeting. And I know you don't remember it, but I do. And I got the documentation right here. Okay, May 3rd, 2022. So we've done this before.
Yeah.
So it's not something radical.
Third.
So.
That's a Sunday.
Yep. No, we're talking about years ago, 2022.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
So, right here.
May 1's Law Day, my birthday.
So, all right, we're gonna do something else. I'll contemplate this and then we can, consider opening it up. I know there's a group of people here in the front row, that want that, and we're going to do something. Don't know what it is yet. We don't have to commit tonight. So, like I said, this has been done before, so people shouldn't be surprised at what we're doing. It's part of keeping stability in the clerk's office. We did it with the treasurer's office. All right, any other comments on process? Process here.
I would hope you would encourage, I have confidence in Paula Jefferson.
All right, well, that's.
I have confidence in Sandy that they can come to some mutual agreement and perhaps persuade one of the trustees to vote. I have confidence in Paula Jefferson.
If we kept Paula Jefferson as an employee, Mark, would that be acceptable to you? No. I didn't, who said no? No, you got to come up here. But, no, hold on. I said employee, I didn't say deputy. Didn't say deputy. So, Mark, if we kept her as an employee, in other words, not lose her job, and she would be in the clerk's office.
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
I interpret that as no. Right?
Well, it hasn't been proposed before.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know, Sandy, who you would appoint?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay, could you let us know?
But no, we don't need to talk about that
I'm not
now.
going to do that. Because none of
That
this
might
has
give
any.
people more confidence because it's a team effort.
Trustee Buckley, I don't need you to question my integrity.
Oh, it's already in question.
Oh, wait. let's leave the discussion up here.
So we would like to know, I have declared who I would have as my deputy. Why can't you tell people who you have in mind?
It is none of
Why
your
is it a
business.
secret?
It's not a
Hear
secret.
half of what you're saying.
I hear everything you're saying.
Good for you.
The point being is that people
Well,
on the
now the
board,
audience is gonna start going at it.
the point being is that I think people on the board, maybe if you'd like to sway a vote any particular way, maybe they would have more confidence in the combination of to whom you would be joined to. Because it is important.
All right, we've taken that statement, so
Okay,
you're-
so
she's not prepared
Take
to.
that as a no.
You could take that
It's
as
like a
no
presidential
response.
candidate naming their running mate, I guess.
Pardon?
Never mind.
No, it
Not
is
good.
not. Bob, no one chose your deputy, and no one told you when you stepped into Treasurer Clinton's job, when he was unable to do it for 6 months and received full pay, along with a $25,000 bonus to his deputy, no one said to you, we're going to put you in as treasurer, and we're going to select your deputy. It's not anyone's right.
But it's
My
not about
deputy-
that.
and
It's
the
about
clerk.
everybody getting all fired up that Jen isn't qualified.
You were
And
the
so we're
reason-
saying that that person goes hand in hand.
Sandy, you were the reason my deputy almost quit in the first place.
Oh, and you know what?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
You weren't
Yeah.
here at the time, or you were?
Are you talking about Amy? Amy
Yeah.
Hammy? Who was spreading rumors about me on Facebook? When she
Well, I
didn't
didn't
even
want to
know
have
me?
this in
Yeah,
a public forum.
Yeah, this is.
There's a lot more than meets the eye.
No, there's not a lot more. I
Yeah,
had
there
an
is.
issue with her.
Okay,
Yes, I
let's.
did.
Yeah, and you created an issue between the departments.
Okay, so this is not going to be productive. So we're gonna come back here on May 5th, and we will have an opportunity for people to say they want to be on here. Well, they'll sit, I'm not committing to anything, what the process is, but we're going to do something. We also could do nothing and just come back and see if we change our votes. All right. May 5th. So, any more comments? Well, no, hold on. No. We can have closing comments, but we also need to do public comment as a closing. John, the usual thing before we end our meeting?
Hang on, I gotta get the,
Pardon?
it's updated on the computer, I'm gonna have to,
Yeah, we don't need the computer anyway.
we need the clock.
Oh, okay, well, you can do it manually, right?
Yeah, I
Right
can
on
do
your,
it manually.
wait a minute.
Okay,
We gotta start the clock.
start the clock. I'm going to be quick, so you don't need the
Speak to
clock.
us and speak
Got it.
into the microphone, but wait till he says, go. Not yet. Here,
Let's find my clock.
let's see if I got
You
it.
got a clock?
Yeah, let's see if I got it.
Yeah, there
Okay,
you go, a timer.
so I have a timer, okay. 3 minutes, right?
Yep.
Let's see if I got it. 3 minutes. Okay, I'm going to go for it.
Go. I'm Estelle Olansky. What I don't understand is I'm hearing Trustee Buckley telling us that she doesn't know how to do the job, and she has a staff that's going to do it for her. So we're supposed to pay her $120,000 a year to have the staff train her when we have a person right here who knows how to do the job from the minute that we start. So why do we even need a clerk if you're going to let the staff run the office? Thank you.
There's over 100 people that were there in any given election.
I guess
Hold on.
most of you know me.
Wait a
My
minute,
name is
John.
Dwayne Zantop. I'm the guy that was falsely charged by people that are in this clerk's office now. I've never been in trouble in my life. I got a few traffic tickets, but that's about all when I was a child. I was charged with a crime that I did not do. I did not violate any election laws. There was people in that office over there that accused me. It cost me over $3,000 for an attorney. I did not do anything wrong. Another thing, Jen Buckley, you told us, do not call my house
before 7 o'clock at night because I have children.
After 7.
After 7. There's a lady right here in this room now that called you, and you just ripped her to pieces. Don't ever call me again at this time of day. How can you work in the clerk's office?
That's my personal
Just a minute.
Dwayne.
It's public comments. You don't even have to talk. I don't understand how you can do it now.
I thought you were
Because
asking me a question.
wait a minute, you're out of hand. It's my turn to talk. You don't have to answer me. It's public comments. So I don't understand how you can possibly do it now when we've been admonished for calling you before 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Thank you.
Anyone else? Right. Isn't politics cool?
Hey, my name is Pamela Stopper, and I've lived in the township for 43 years, and I'm very proud of living in the township, but I am very disgusted and embarrassed right now that I have watched tonight people get along and not get along and attack each other for some people I elected to represent us as the residents of this township. There is no excuse for the way people are acting tonight, and I am truly just embarrassed to what I have witnessed tonight, to the point that I think that the public, people that care enough to come to this meeting tonight, should be allowed their voice in a voting. If it's deadlocked, if people that were elected cannot decide what is right and what is wrong, then people that are sitting here should be allowed to have a chance to vote on it.
I have just a few questions that I think anyone who is planning to run for this office should be able to answer. And that is, I'd like to know, I believe it's rather something important. I realize elections have gotten more complex, okay, and whatever. But how many employees worked in the clerk's office under Sandy and Jerry Vorva? How many now work in that office? How many of those currently working were hired under the current Vorva-Jefferson group? Okay? And who handled the selection of absentee, and not only handled the selection, but the running of absentee voter workers during the last few elections? It wasn't Paula.
Okay, Bill Pine again. This time I've got time. I've lived here for 48 years. I'm a veteran too. I don't like extraneous stuff brought up for something that's important as our elections. Mark, you talked about the fact, and I respect you, Paula. You talked about the fact that Paula had 6 years of experience here. Sandy, how many years of experience do you have?
Total, about 25.
Oh, Bob, you talked about the fact that Paula has run the last several elections successfully. Thank you. How many elections have you run successfully, Sandy?
I couldn't even tell you. Over 25 years? A lot.
You need to think about that. And Jen, I have 5 kids. You have 8 kids, 5 of whom are at home that you homeschool.
Please don't bring my kids
I'm not,
into this
well,
conversation.
let me say
It has
this.
nothing to
hey,
do with
I'm
my
talking.
job. What is the matter with you
You!
people? Honestly.
Stop.
All right, Jen, let him speak.
Go ahead.
Seriously.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I've my new friend here, Mr. LeBlanc.
Put the microphone up to your face.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Mr. LeBlanc and I were talking about how much time it would take to run an election. And I said, man, 23 hours, or 16 hours. And you said something higher, right? You did. The regular job is 8 to 10 hours. You know, regardless of what your family situation is, you have other commitments that are very important. Can you commit before God, country, in this room that you will spend 8, 10, 16, 20 hours a day, every day, working as the clerk? And it's going to be tougher for you because you don't know what you're doing. Something that someone experienced could do in 10 hours, It would take you longer. So can you commit to everyone here that you will spend the time necessary to do the job that people are willing to pay $120,000 for you to do? Okay. That's my answer. And shame on you guys. Seriously. You guys should be more responsible when you do stuff like this. Square away.
All right, anyone else?
For the 3 no votes on the board.
Get it close to your face.
How can you, in good conscience, vote no for Sandy when Jennifer's not even qualified to do the job, and this is an election year? You're not representing the people in the township. You don't really care about the people in the township. This whole fiasco tonight has been engineered by our former supervisor, and he needs to learn to step down. He lost the election, and you guys are still with him voting for what's best for the township.
No. Once again, he's living rent-free in your head. I have not talked to Heisey since he left office. No, I resent being accused of being somebody else's puppet. That's
Right.
bullshit. I make my own decisions, and Heisey lives rent-free in your head because you can't entertain the possibility that I may have a different opinion. So you say he engineered it. It's bullshit. I don't talk to Heisey.
Right,
I don't have any relationship with him. Get him out of your head, for God's sakes.
Okay, so, all right,
Hi, my
I
name is
resent
Eileen
that.
Coleman, and I've been a
get it close to your face.
I've been a resident of Plymouth.
John, get over here.
We can't hear you, Eileen.
Oh, you can't hear?
I've been a resident of Plymouth Township.
This meeting's going on 2.5 hours and we haven't had a break.
Stop it. Just,
I got a cramp in my leg. I'm a
all right,
runner.
then go to the men's
I'm
room.
sorry.
then. All right.
I've been a resident of Plymouth Township my entire life, and I am very disappointed in this group. So we are all conservatives. We're all Republicans. On the board. On the board, okay? We are conservatives. It's not well, the thing that you realize now is that you are to come together for the good of this community. This is divisive. There was a common sense decision here, and you made it political. It's unconscionable what just happened here this evening.
May I ask, who would you recommend to be treasurer, to be clerk?
Sandy Cross.
Okay, thank you.
It's an obvious decision. There's
Thank you.
this is even debatable decision.
Okay.
It's common sense.
Thank you.
Mary Tavarozzi again. I think tonight was a masterclass in what's wrong with the board. The toxicity, the frequent bouts of incivility, lack of cooperation. It's almost a tie as to what's the most shameful moment tonight, but because there have been so many. Clearly the board cannot agree on a candidate, and that's a shame. It's also a shame that it had to wait until late this evening to even have a process discussed. And then to have the supervisor say he'll think about what the process might be after today, but not come away with a firm plan. And then probably tied for most shameful, then the supervisor saying that if this is opened up, that it has to be a Republican who fills the spot. Why they would think that qualified candidates would even propose to put in an application after that kind of a comment is really beyond the pale of consideration. And again, I think that today was just an indication of how things have devolved and continue to devolve on this board. And as I said earlier today, I really plead that you please get your act together, be more collaborative, be more transparent, and be more nonpartisan for the good of the township. Thank you.
Richard Berzier. Watching the board, I've watched from afar for a while. I spoke last year on Salem Springs, and I'm disappointed in what I saw here, but I think you guys just take a deep breath, step back, do what's right for the community. If you guys can't decide, you're deadlocked. I'm not arguing your reasons pro or con for either candidate right now. If you can't decide, you're hard set on that candidate, and you guys are deadlocked, the lady suggested, put it out to the voters then. More like, we are a Republican community generally, you're probably gonna be Republican in that job then, but you guys need to think about the community. Both candidates, one you have that's somebody's new, it's younger, maybe a little fresh look, eyes, approach to the job, the other one, many years of experience. Both have pros and cons, but the only thing I would recommend, whoever the clerk ends up being, do not bring a yoga mat and a bag lunch to the park for your employees. Cater a lunch for them.
I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you.
We didn't
What, I didn't hear that last statement.
Don't bring a yoga mat and a bag lunch for your employees if you become the clerk.
A yoga mat. I don't get it. I can't hear it.
That was,
It goes back to the comments about the weights and.
Oh, okay.
We don't need to bring that one up.
Okay,
all the women to the park.
okay. All right. Anyone else? Otherwise, we'll close the comments. That's one thing, you're in Plymouth Township, you get to speak your mind. If you were somewhere else, you wouldn't get to speak as often. I can assure you, go to other meetings. So, all right, let me get this timer kicked off. All right, board comments. We'll start with Mark Clinton.
I guess I'm going to just make one more comment, which basically I said before. Paul is the most important to run the election right now. It's the most important thing. Unfortunately, she doesn't live here in Plymouth. That's the most important. If he lived in Plymouth, we wouldn't be having a conversation. That's the whole issue for me. The most important thing for me is Paula. Now, the next thing we have to do, since Paula cannot run because she doesn't live in Plymouth, then I got to think what else to do. That's my whole decision for me. That's the thing.
All right. John Stewart.
It's a public record that Paula Jefferson ran for clerk as a Democrat in Superior Township. She had political aspirations, and she did that while she was serving and a full-time employee of Plymouth Township. It's undeniable. Now, maybe she aspires to do, especially with the way the midterms are looking, maybe she aspires to do that again. The obvious thing to a practicing lawyer is that you put Paula in one room and you send Sandy Groth into that room, and I'm sure they're not going to touch each other. Now, a year ago, February, before the $10 million lawsuit, I had a piece of paper that I showed Sandy Groth in my law office. I had a piece of paper that I showed Bill Ikes in my law office, and nobody would print it. It was Dale Bernhardt's evidence that of the Carlo brothers' income, 4% was from the anachronistic harness racing, not exactly Ben-Hur. 96% came from gambling. Let's roll out the blueprint with the word casino on it. Let's roll out the slot machines. Let's roll out the blackjack tables. I have had lengthy conversations with the deputy legal counsel of the Michigan Gaming and Control Board, and they are about at opposite ends, as you could imagine, with Kurt Heisey. They didn't know where he was coming from, even suggesting that there was, well, okay. I never got a chance to deliver that piece of paper in the closed session a year ago, February. But now it's out there, and I pray that some media person will post it. I was shouted down in the meeting by Jerry Borva. There was an iron control and a power. Everybody knows that the past 9 years, Borva and Heisey gathered power. And now we're seeing some of it dissipate. But I want somebody who's objective and somebody who is looks me in the eyes and says, John, these are what the rules, this is what we're gonna be, this is what we're gonna do. And that was Sandy Growth. And I've had a 25-year working relationship. I remember when Sandy was part-time at the city clerk's office. So, I mean, and people, 60 days and early voting starts. Over 100 days in August, June 20th. Well, it will start right around that. Yeah, shortly thereafter. And it's going to certainly start by July 1, or the politicians in the parades are going to be in trouble. And then you've got the over 100 days to August 4th. So I pray that Paula and Sandy will come back with a joint decision. Maybe Debkowski can moderate it, and with her skills, and then we can have a recommendation that we can adopt May 5. Cinco de Mayo. What a treat. Oh, by the way, ending on a positive note, you know what happened in our community? We don't have a local newspaper. So the Plymouth Community Library, God love them, and I do. Here's Kara Gavin, a monthly newspaper, the Plymouth Express. All you gotta do is pay them $20 a month. Articles in here by highly credible people, really good writers. Kara Gavin and Robert Cohen. I've known them 35 years. I've got extra copies. And they're substantive articles about Miller Woods, and then the chief, the fire chief said, oh yeah, we know all about that. But you know what? The third page headline, Plymouth Township firefighters go beyond the call. They will work with the Billy Moore Foundation. Dang it. Bifocals. The Plymouth Township firefighters are now working with Meals for Critically Ill, purchasing beds for children, providing temporary lodging in hotels. They are doing fundraisers for Miracle League, Salvation Army, United Way, Breast Cancer Awareness Campaign, Trinity Health Oncology Department, and Kiwanis. I didn't read about that or know about that. I'm sorry, Chief. I'll attribute it to your humility. But, it took the Plymouth Library to publish a local newspaper. And you're welcome to have it. I got 20 of them. God love them. So, okay, I've made that recommendation, and I'm confident in Paula, and I'm asking Sandy to show up and sit down and talk to Paula and see what's going to happen here. So let's go onward and forward, folks.
Jen Buckley?
No comments. I don't have any.
Got anything?
I got nothing to add.
All right. I got a couple of things. One is last week was National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. Thanks to our great dispatchers for their steady hand and voice. Our team is continuing to take care of the city of Plymouth and Plymouth Township. Great example of local cooperation. The DEA National Drug Take Back Day is this upcoming Saturday, 10 to 2 at Kroger only. No drop off here in the Township Hall. So Kroger, Saturday the 25th. And the Planning Commission, thank you. Well, they're gone, but thank you for what they did. Let me give you a little update on this room. We're going to be putting some acoustic fixes in here in that dome area, which will be to try to reduce the reverberation. We'll have new microphones. The target is June 1 to be completed. So hopefully people can hear better than when you're in the front in those rows there. Sometimes it's difficult to pick up what's being said because of the reverberation in that chamber up there. Can't Can't think of anything else that is blowing my hair back. It takes quite a bit to do that. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Turn off your mics.